Have you ever heard of a car so tough it could survive just about anything? A car that laughed in the face of potholes, blizzards, and even the harshest Siberian winters? Today, we re-diving into the incredible story of a humble Soviet machine that not only conquered the toughest terrains on Earth, but also outsmarted some of the biggest names in the automotive world. This isn't just a car, it's a legend. Get ready to meet the one and only LADA NIVA. Now, when you think of legendary off-roaders, names like Land Rover, Jeep, or Toyota Land Cruiser probably come to mind. These are the giants, the titans of the 4x4 world. But back in the 1970s, from behind the Iron Curtain, a small, unassuming vehicle rolled off the production line, ready to challenge them all. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't luxurious, but it had something special, a revolutionary design philosophy that prioritized pure, unadulterated capability. To understand the genius of the Niva, you have to understand the problem it was built to solve. Imagine you're a farmer in rural Russia. The roads, if you can even call them that, are a mix of mud, gravel, and snow. You need a vehicle that can get you to town for supplies, help you on the farm, and not break down in the middle of nowhere where the nearest mechanic is hundreds of miles away. The existing Soviet cars were fine for the city, but they were useless in the countryside. They needed something different. So, in the early 1970s, the engineers at Avtovaz were given a mission: create a car with the comfort of a regular passenger vehicle, but the off-road prowess of a military truck. This was a radical idea at the time. Back then, 4x4s were typically built on heavy, ladder-frame chassis, like trucks. They were bone-jarringly uncomfortable on paved roads. Passenger cars, on the other hand, used a unibody construction where the body and frame are one piece. This makes them lighter, more comfortable, and better handling. The LADA engineers decided to combine the best of both worlds. They took the unibody concept and paired it with a full-time four-wheel drive system, a locking center differential, and independent front suspension. This was groundbreaking. The Niva was essentially the world's first crossover SUV, decades before the term even existed. It was a comfortable, car-like vehicle that could transform into a mountain goat at the flick of a lever. While Western manufacturers were still building their 4x4 South-like tractors, the Soviets had created a vehicle for the people, a true all-rounder. Its design was pure function over form. The short wheelbase and minimal overhangs gave it incredible approach and departure angles, meaning it could climb up and down steep inclines without scraping its nose or tail. The engine, a modest 1.6-liter four-cylinder, wasn't powerful by today's standards, but it was simple, reliable, and easy to fix with a basic set of tools. Everything about the Niva was designed for survival. It even came with a full-size spare tire under the hood and a complete toolkit, including a hand crank for starting the engine if the battery died. Try finding that in a modern SUV. So, the Niva was a hit in its home country? But how did it outsmart the world? Well, when the Niva was first exported to Western Europe in the late 1970s, people were skeptical. It was cheap, Spartan, and came from the Soviet Union, which wasn't exactly known for its high-quality consumer goods. But then people started driving it. They discovered that this little Russian box could go places their expensive, sophisticated 4x4 South couldn't. It climbed mountains in the Alps, crossed deserts in Africa, and navigated the muddy lanes of the English countryside with ease. It quickly became a cult classic. It was the anti-establishment off-roader. It was affordable, unpretentious, and ridiculously capable. While other 4x4 South were becoming status symbols, the Niva was a tool, a trusted companion for adventurers, farmers, and anyone who needed to get from point A to point B, no matter what stood in the way. It won its class in the grueling Paris-Dakar Rally. It was used as a service vehicle in the Antarctic. It even climbed to a base camp on Mount Everest. The Niva was proving, time and time again, that you didn't need a big budget or fancy technology to build a world-class off-roader. You just needed clever engineering and a deep understanding of what a vehicle truly needs to do. What's even more incredible is that the LADA NIVA is still in production today, more than 45 years after it was first introduced. Think about that. How many car models have survived for that long with their core design virtually unchanged? The Porsche 911, the Mercedes wagon, and the LADA NIVA, it has outlived countless competitors. While other cars have been completely redesigned every 5 to 7 years, packed with complex electronics and expensive features, the Niva has stayed true to its roots. It's a testament to the brilliance of its original design. Of course, it's not a perfect car. The build quality can be, let's say, characterful. Rust is a well-known enemy. And the interior is a masterclass in minimalist 1970s Soviet design. There are no touchscreens, no heated seats, no fancy driver aids. What you get are a few chunky switches, a speedometer, and a steering wheel. But that's the whole point. Its simplicity is its greatest strength. There are fewer things to go wrong, and when they do, they're usually easy and cheap to fix. In a world of overcomplicated and disposable products, the Niva is an honest, mechanical machine that you can understand and rely on. So, did the LADA NIVA really outsmart the world? In many ways, yes. It showed everyone that you could have car-like comfort and true off-road ability in one affordable package, long before anyone else figured it out. It proved that simple, robust engineering could triumph over complex and expensive technology. It created a vehicle that was not just a mode of transport, but a symbol of resilience, resourcefulness, and adventure. The LADA NIVA is a reminder that the best solutions are often the simplest ones. It's a car with a soul, a mechanical underdog that took on the world and carved out its own legendary status. It may not be the fastest, the most comfortable, or the most luxurious, but for millions of people around the globe, it's the most capable and dependable car ever made. And that's why, even after all these years, the little Soviet car that continues to capture our hearts and imaginations, what do you think? Is the LADA NIVA the most underrated 4x4 of all time? Let me know your thoughts and your own NIVA stories in the comments below. It's always amazing to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into automotive history, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories like this. We'll see you in the next one.